Alright, what's up everybody? I am here at Las Vegas in test session mode driving a cup car. This is, I think, the third Las Vegas video I've done. I did one right when the game first came out and ran a 30.65 something. I did another one to update it when I got down to a 30.39. With this setup, I have got down to a 30.194. I'm hoping to get something in the 30.2 range here on video for you. I think this setup is a little better. I think it's a little better in the long run too. But it has been a struggle to get here. Let me see if I can get something in the at least 30.2 range here. I'd like to get that 30.1 again, but I'll be honest, I've only hit 30.1 once, but that is in the books. That is my record, so at least I can say that, you know, this setup is capable of that because it's been done. But I would be real happy to be able to get a 30.2 in the books here. And there was a 311. Let's see if I can do just a little bit better. Don't think I hit that turn real good, but we'll see what we can get out of this. I am sitting here on 2 times wear. There's a 30.287. So I will take that, call that pretty good, and let's see if we can talk about how I get around Vegas here. So that is within a tenth of my best, so I'm going to call that pretty good and kind of say let's start talking about the line, and I will show the actual setup. Okay, so when you are coming down the backstretch, I overshot my mark here. About this white line is really almost where you want to think of starting the turn. Maybe here where you got these 3 cones is the latest point, but you want to start this turn early. I run it absolutely wide open, don't lift at all. I kind of start maybe on the upper side of this this suggested line and kind of work my way into the bottom. I want to take a little bit of a wide arc. I feel like as I'm turning into this, I am turning the wheel more and more and more until I get to about mid-corner, because I'm trying to work the car down here to the bottom, but what I really want to do is kind of have the car rotated by the time I'm on corner exit, because when I'm on corner exit, I want to be working on straightening the wheel up, not trying to turn it more. If I'm exiting and having to turn the wheel more on exit than on entry, I'm basically creating friction and scrubbing off speed. But I kind of want to run it low and then let it drift out a little bit on exit. And as it drifts out on exit, I still usually stay at or just below this suggested line here, but the mark I'm kind of looking for is whatever this, I guess this V is here in the webbing. That is the point where I am closest to the wall, is about the time I hit this V in the webbing, and at that point I'm probably just about here, just on the inside of the suggested line. From this point, that's as close as I get to the wall. From here on, I get farther away from the wall, and I start working the car back down, and I'm shortening the front straightaway by running down onto the apron. And I want to run down on the apron, and just kind of gradually work your way down here, but I want to be clear down here on the apron by the time I get to the start-finish line. Then once I am at the start-finish line, I kind of start working my way back up here. And then one of the things I like about Vegas is I got a definite mark at about everywhere I'm doing anything on the track. I got that V in the webbing, I got the white line on the backstretch, and I got this Las Vegas sign up here. When I get to here, this seems incredibly early to start turn 1. But this is where I am turning, and this is where I am lifting. I am lifting clear back here. The theory being is the earlier I lift, the earlier I can get back in the gas. And the earlier I can get back in the gas, that means I'm carrying speed from the time I get back in the gas all the way down the backstretch to the next corner, versus if I lift later, then I'm getting back in the gas later, I'm accelerating, you know, from a later point, and I'm accelerating from a slower speed. So I lift right at this Vegas sign that is right above me here. Let's see if I can get back enough where you can see it again. Okay, so let's talk about the lift here. When I lift here, it is kind of a lift up and back down. I'm not out of the gas. I'm not out of the gas all the way, and I'm not out very long. But when I do lift, I kind of have to turn the wheel pretty hard because I want to turn the wheel pretty hard. I want to get this thing down to the bottom. And what I want to do is get down to the bottom really before I'm getting back in the throttle. I don't want to be trying to accelerate and still trying to have the car up here fighting to get it to the bottom. So I lift, don't get all the way out, turn the wheel really hard, and then get right back in the throttle. And then I'm kind of running the bottom through most of turn one. And then I start drifting out a little bit as I get near the exit of 2, and when we go from a solid line to a dotted line, at this point I've probably let the car drift up here above this suggested line a little bit. I feel like trying to keep it too low coming out of these corners, especially coming out of 2, it just scrubs off speed, so I let it drift out a little bit, and then you're wide open down the backstretch, and that is a lap at Vegas. But with that being a lap at Vegas, let's go and take a look at this setup. The setup, what to say about the bump and rebound are nothing spectacular. I'm really low on all the front ones. This is more like what you see at a super speedway, but that seemed to be having the car handle best. I'm up pretty high on that right rebound, and I think that was to right rebound. I think that was to help me on entry a little bit, but really high on that setting. The weight and wedged, everything, nothing real wild there. It's pretty typical of what you're seeing for me. A little heavy on the front weight. Oops. Springs are pretty typical. Tire pressures, those might be the defaults. I know I didn't mess with tire pressures much. Nothing. This is a typical kind of 1.5 mile track. I did have to mess with the track bars a lot because I wanted the car to get to turn in real easy, so I wound up going up higher on the left track bar than I wanted, because that left track bar really affects more entry than exit. And then I had to come down a little bit on the right track bar from where I was because the car was getting loose on the long runs. Grill tape is really high. I don't think I run this much grill tape anywhere in the Cup Series. This is more like grill tape you would see in the trucks, but it seems to work. It gets close to overheating, but doesn't quite overheat. Wheel lock is 8 degrees. If you are on a controller, I believe that the controllers usually like to run a little higher wheel lock, so you'll probably want to run somewhere in the 10 to 12 range on your wheel lock if you're a controller, but that's the only real difference that I'm aware of that you need to make when you're running a controller. The 60% grill tape, I can run 60% grill tape because I am running an incredibly high gear. This is a 3-gear setup, and I'm running a 1.1 third gear and a 2.86 rear end ratio. That is a 3.22 final drive ratio. That's a pretty high gear, or sometimes I call them a tall gear. It doesn't crank as many RPMs, but you get a higher top end speed, and it seems like you carry so much momentum around Vegas that it seems like it works pretty well. So that is the Vegas setup. I want to tell you guys thank you so much for the support. Greatly appreciated. I think I'm over 1,600 subscribers now. I also have a website where I have all my videos there. They're all categorized. I got all the Cup videos together, all the Xfinity, all the truck, all the setup tips. I've got spreadsheets you can download to help you with adjusting your car and to keep track of gear ratios. It is setup-man.com. That is setup-man.com. So check it out. It's got kind of everything in one place where you don't have to go searching all over YouTube for it. And with that, I will end this by telling you guys appreciate the support and hope you guys have a great day.